Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites. Joining me today is Mike.
Hello.
And more importantly, Charlie.
Hello.
Right. Backed by popular demand, Thaiger Bites is where we address your comments and your questions from all of our shows on Facebook, YouTube, and Thaiger Talk Forum on thethaiger.com. Right, Mike, our first comment here is from Thomas in Thailand. I visit your channel for Thai news relating to expats and traveling to Thailand. I would love to see stories about expats making a living in Thailand and how they did it. That's very interesting, Thomas. Thank you for that comment and for that suggestion. That does sound very interesting. We do have a lot of expats living in Phuket, living in Bangkok and Chiang Mai who've come here for business reasons with their families who are very successful businessmen. I think this is a great idea. Maybe. And thank you for the suggestion. I think a lot of people would be interested in perhaps knowing about these individuals. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. Great comment. I think there's loads of successful expats in Thailand. I just think that you don't hear about them that much, right? So it's a great comment, and we will definitely try and do it. I think we're going to create a business segment and interview young entrepreneurs. Thaiger Summit is tomorrow, which we're talking to entrepreneurs, a lot of them expats in Thailand who have built good businesses in the pandemic. So tune in.
You can find a link to that over here.
Yeah, cool. So Mark Gilchrist, I think that's how you pronounce it, talking about the conversation we had yesterday on our YouTube channel, where it's going. He said, regarding your puzzlement over why people appear confused when you do shows on things other than the news, I think the answer is simple. They think of the Thaiger as a TV news program, when actually it's more like a whole TV station where a few news programs, as well as others that covers entertainment, business, etc. For American at least, you were known simply as, we say, WTGR. That might clear the heads. I'm of course not suggesting a name change, but that clearly helped it clear up for me. And I think, Mark, you have got it spot on. There's not many people that fully understand what we're trying to achieve. The Thaiger wasn't even a company when it was the Phuket Gazette. So we established one of the largest news platforms in the country, and we decided that, yes, we can be more than just a news company. So I think that you fully understood what we're trying to achieve. So thank you, Mark, and hopefully that comment has actually clarified this to our audience.
Right, and we will not stop doing the news. We're very proud of being a news channel. We do have our flagship show, Thailand News Today, every evening, providing the top news stories and headlines with Jet. That will never change. So we will always stick to our roots. We're just trying to grow. Right, to my next comment here, Mike, is from Philip, who says, it would be great to talk about the English Premier League on Fridays and talk about the weekend's fixtures. Now, I guess Philip is a football fan, along with me, along with Mike, and a lot of people in Thailand and abroad. We were thinking about starting Thaiger Sports and indulging into maybe once a week or 2-week roundup of all the fixtures of not only football but also motorsports, fight sports, tennis, all the sports around the world. I think a lot of people have commented and are interested in that. So that can possibly be a show in the future that you can look forward to. Philip, thank you.
Yeah, and I think that, as we grow, at the moment we've got a small production team, but as we grow to more people, we'll hire some specialists in sports. Actually, Jay is pretty much a very big fan of all sports and has a wide knowledge, but we're going to bring in new people as well that can fill the gaps. It's not just going to be us talking about everything. So, good comment. So, moving on to Fifth Platoon. I get the issue with plonking COVID numbers at the start of the episode when the meat of the episode will be about whatever, and it will not be relevant in a month. But to ditch them completely may not be the best solution. I suspect the majority of your viewers were regular tourists to Thailand looking to return as soon as it's feasible. Therefore, the COVID situation in Thailand is key. Some people want to monitor the best estimate where they stand, especially when Tim and Jay used to give a brief about 30 seconds overview, etc., etc. What about putting it at the end of the show and saying that people can sit? So I think Fifth Platoon, I think you get exactly where we're going with this in relation to creating evergreen content that will last its time. And we definitely can't put it at the start of the show because if you go back and watch it, the way user trends happen is that if you don't find what you're watching in the first 5 seconds, you just turn it off. That's just standard behaviour these days, especially in relation to online mediums. So either put it in the end, or we've actually created a separate show now with the COVID numbers so everyone can stay up to date. And if everyone just wants COVID numbers, they can have them. If people don't, they don't have to watch them anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the best solution we've come up with.
Sure. Now, I have my next comment here from Steve, who says, Jay says the least people who live in Thailand can do is learn some Thai, but Mike and Tim haven't. Steve, you'd be surprised at how much Mike can probably understand. He might look like he doesn't understand everything, but I can assure you he does understand a lot. And a lot of people, what I mean is, if you're living in Thailand and you're going around, I think Mike and Tim, they're very well aware how to say a lot of words and how to communicate with local vendors on the street or at your local 7-Eleven. So thank you for the comment, Steve, but I think they know a lot more Thai than they'd like you to know.
Yeah. Look, if I go out and openly start speaking Thai, so if someone says hello to me, this is where the issue I have. If someone says hello to me and I'm like, okay, sawadee krap, maybe I can get away with that one. But if I say sawadee mai and then I start asking questions, they literally just start speaking to me in Thai, yet they speak English. So the question would be, would I want to have a conversation with someone in Thai when my Thai is so broken versus their English would probably most likely be better than my Thai. So I prefer just to speak the language where I can understand what food I'm ordering, and make sure the order comes well. So thanks for the comment.
Right. Next comment, Mike.
Okay, the WWWV, which is the weird world we visit. Boring. Where's Tim? Okay, all right.
Yeah, thanks for the comment.
Yeah. Have you seen Charlie?
And the support. Look at how do you compete with that? Look at that dog's face.
I know.
Boring? How dare you?
I know. I mean, who comes on and just comments that? Boring. Okay.
Right, I have a comment here from T Kong, who says, another enjoyable, light-hearted jam session. And he's done something clever and he said jam for Jay, Arena, and Mike, referring to our episode from yesterday. Thanks. Where I'm very glad that you enjoyed our episode with Arena yesterday. She will be back on, hopefully, for either tomorrow or Friday's episode.
I like that. Team Jam.
Yeah, Team Jam.
Yeah, well done.
Jam.
That's a good acronym. Okay, James. The question is, what will Thaiger be able to do better than any other outlet? So far, the answer to that question is news aggregation. People not going to watch a Thaiger Sports show or a Thaiger Tech show. All that information will be found elsewhere in detail by experienced professionals and more relevantly timed. Now, James, I think your comment's actually really good. I mean, number one, you've identified us as what we really are, which is a news aggregator. I mean, we don't have reporters or technically, journalists that are actually reporting on news. We basically look for other sources and create a aggregated compound view of what's going on in the country. So that's great. I think when we're talking about Thaiger Sports Show or Thaiger Tech Show, it's all going to be in relation to Thailand tech or how we perceive from a Thailand perspective, which doesn't exist, right? So there is nothing in Thailand at the moment that has a demonstration of Thai technology or Thai even sports coverage for expats. So I think there's definitely a gap in the market. We're not going to try and compete with large tech companies or large sports companies doing this. I mean, it's going to be more focused on a niche. So it's good feedback, James. I appreciate it. And hopefully that was some explanations in terms of where we're going.
Right. And I'll go on to my last comment, if Charlie allows me. I have a last comment here from Quasimodo, who's actually talking about Mike. And he says, Cockney accent from outside London. How does that work?
I mean, it's quite easy, really, because, although I live just 5 miles from London, I commute into London every day, and if I called myself a Cockney, that would be someone who lived in London, but I said I have a Cockney accent. The same way you could have a different accent, right? And you don't have to be originated from that place. So I think that would be the answer to that one. Now moving on to Ringo's one. So Mike is using some words a lot more So maybe, he could be like, keep his, in a bit check, And Ringo, I really enjoyed that. As in, I definitely do that. So it made me laugh. I wasn't insulted. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And the way you wrote that was fantastic. So good job. That is exactly how funny comments should be.
Yeah.
I'm not insulted by it. I actually enjoyed it and it brought a smile to my face. So great job. On to Coco W. Excellent job, children. I think that's kind of where we are now. We're just children. And I know he's only joking. So thank you for that, Coco. Charlie Bird. The shows are just great. it's about time a show said how it really is living and working in Thailand, not constantly worrying about what tiny comment or opinion might offend someone. Keep up the great work. And Charlie Bird, that is where I'm at. I don't really care what anyone views of myself. You know, I just want to give an honest opinion in relation to what's actually going on, as opposed to talking around nonsense and making stuff up to be politically correct. I mean, people should want to hear like a genuine perspective, but I think, you know, obviously you appreciate it. I mean, there's a good few out there that don't. And for you guys, I say, Anyway, 2 more comments. Jennifer Divine and the Magic. No, Mike, you are far from perfect. You don't even bother to learn any Thai while living in the land of smiles. For how long? Major disrespect and arrogance on your part. I mean, Jennifer, I mean, like I've told you, it's a very difficult language. I mean, do you call all stupid people arrogant and disrespectful? I mean, it's very difficult for me. So I am far from perfect. At no point did I ever say I was close to being perfect. So thank you, Jennifer, describing how humanity works without perfection being, in existence. And have a lovely day, Jennifer. And on to my last comment from Gregory Rice. Just want to get in a few more. You guys are doing a great job. We look forward to having Tim back, but we hate to see others go. Overall, enjoying the programs. Occasionally disagree with some opinions, and have also occasionally with regards to how some facts are presented, not always the most accurate form. But Gregory, thanks so much for the feedback, and yeah, we are looking forward to Tim coming back and helping assist the show. But I think your neutral, honest opinion is really warming and welcoming. So fantastic, Gregory, and thank you so much for that.
All right, and I guess that's all the comments for today. If you do have any questions or any comments that you would like on the show, please leave them on the comment section below on Thaiger Bytes. Once again, on Facebook, on Thaiger Talk Forum, on our website. As for me and Mike, that's it from both of us here. Thank you to Jason behind the buttons. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and we will see you for a new Thaiger Bytes tomorrow. Say bye, Charlie.
Charlie,
bye-bye. Subscribe to the Thaiger.
All right.